Couples and Plexus. We have four couples that are going to share their stories tonight. And
Girl.
we're going to kick it off. Um, let me just make sure everyone's muted here.
All right, Elena. Do you want them warmed up?
I can go ahead and mute people.
Okay, yeah, that'll be great if you can do that. Thanks, Nicole. So we're going to kick it off. So I'm going to start with my story, how I got started with Plexus. So, long story short, I struggled with tummy troubles, pretty severe tummy troubles since middle school. Probably started before middle school. I just don't really remember much before middle school. But started struggling with what the doctors told me was IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, and it just progressively got worse and kind of controlled my life in a way. I always needed to know where the nearest bathroom was. Traveling was kind of stressful. Going out to eat was kind of stressful. I got to know bathrooms everywhere I went, right? So that sums it up. I won't give too much more information because I think you guys know what I'm getting at here. I had major tummy issues. So I tried several different medications, probiotics, different diets. Nothing really seemed to help. So I kind of just gave up. This is how I am. I have a bad stomach. So does my brother. So does my dad. So does my grandma. Runs in the family. This is just my life. So when my friend across the street was telling me to try Plexus ProBio 5, I very easily said no for almost 2 years because why would that work when nothing else has worked all of these years? And it's an MLM product. I mean, is that for real? Is that even a real product? And so in the nicest way possible, I said, no, thank you for almost 2 years. And then finally, she gave me a bottle for free. And I think Mike probably remembers when I got the bottle, I showed it to him. And I said, should I actually take this? It's that Plexus stuff. Like I thought it was not safe. And he was like, he looked at it and I remember him saying, well, it looks like a probiotic, so it's not going to kill you. So I took it. And actually, Mike took it too. We both took it every night until it was gone, till the bottle was gone. Sarah told us to take it after dinner, so we did. And after that bottle was gone, I just couldn't remember. I could not remember my last bad day with my stomach. I couldn't remember my last bad episode, which normally would happen almost daily. And I was like, my gosh, wow, when was my last bad day? Bad stomach day, and I couldn't remember. So I knew I needed to continue. Mike urged me to continue. It was that next month I started on the whole triplex, the gut health combo that next month. And then I guess it was about 4 to 5 months later into that, I realized, wow, I am not struggling with my stomach at all. This is amazing. Everyone needs to take this stuff. So I started sharing with everyone I loved. If these products could help me, they surely can help them too. So I started sharing mostly just the gut health combo. Back in the day, 7 years ago, when I started, that was pretty much all we had. Now Plexus has grown to have so many more products, but it's been pretty amazing helping people heal their guts, balance their blood sugars, and get healthy and get have a better life because of it. And that is why I continue to share. I'm a personal trainer. I forgot to say that. I'm a personal trainer, mother of four. And as a personal trainer, I've been a trainer for 20 years. I always kind of wanted more control over my clients. I really wanted to be able to help them. Like, I wanted to be able to help them control their diets and do their homework. And I just wanted more control. Helping them heal their guts and balance their blood sugar has helped me get that control in a way so they really can get healthy and really get good results. So that's kind of my story with the products. I also do not suffer with my Raynaud's anymore. It's an autoimmune disease. I realized that about a year into triplex. My fingers weren't going numb. I'm like, what's going on here? I went home after a run in the cold and I Googled gut health and Raynaud's, and sure enough, they're connected. So I love helping people with Raynaud's, love helping people with Down syndrome, with the triplex. So that's my story. I do take other products too. Since we have 4 couples sharing tonight, I'm trying to keep it kind of short here. But I'm gonna let Mike share now about products that he likes and maybe touch on the products the kids like.
Okay, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to ignore that advice and tell you what I like about Plexus, and that is that we have 4 kids, and I work a lot, and we made a decision when our first daughter was born, our oldest, that Amy was going to be there with the kids. That was the goal. So it put a lot of pressure on me to earn and provide for the family. And Amy worked. She was a personal trainer. She trained clients, early mornings and in the evenings, and it just was a heavy lift for our family for a long time. And Plexus has been a blessing in many ways, of course, from Amy's health and our health and the kids' health, but also financially for us. It it makes us able to live a lifestyle that we want to and provide for our kids, and put money away for college, and live a debt-free life, and the wonderful things that it's been able to do. And we didn't have to sacrifice Amy not being there when the kids got off the bus, from school, or be there to listen to when they had a bad day, or all the things that parents struggle with, that when they have 2 parents that work. So I love that aspect of the business. Amy also was so gracious. She uh, earned. If you guys know Plexus, there's at some point in the business you earn a vehicle, and instead of taking that and making it her own, and getting a Lexus, she let me buy a brand new Bronco, which was a dream of mine for since they announced they were coming out with a new Bronco. So um, I don't have Plexus tattooed on the Bronco, but it is the Plexus Bronco, and I'm thankful for it. It's a great business. It's a true blessing to our family in so many ways, other than financially. But um, from my perspective, that that's what I love about it. In addition to of course, the health benefits. And Amy's so fulfilled when she helps new people that struggle with health issues. She's able to, dose them up with Plexus and get their health issues resolved or improved in so many ways. So it's nice that she's fulfilled in her work as well. Right?
Right, right. Yep. Well, thanks. That was good. Total truth. Yeah, the business has been a huge blessing. I used to train every evening. Mike had to do dinner and bath time and all that stuff because I trained every evening from like 5 to 9, every morning from like 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. So he'd get them up. I don't have to do that anymore. I don't have to train any clients. I choose to train my very favorite clients. So I still train about 3 or 4 clients just because I love them so much. But yeah, the Plexus income has been a huge blessing, much more family time because of it. So, all right, I'm going to toss it over to John and Nicole. And John is my brother. Can you tell? Do we look like? And and Nicole is my sister-in-law. So take it away, guys.
Hi, everyone. So yeah, I'm going to start it off because I started Plexus before John did, sort of. And I thought, if you guys are sitting here, maybe unfamiliar with the products, or you've seen about the products, but you're feeling skeptical, So was I, and I didn't really understand all this gut health stuff. I just saw Amy talking about this pink drink and I thought she was crazy. And everything she posted about gut health and probiotics just went way over my head. Like, I mean, I just had no interest in it. And it's exactly what I needed. But I had no idea. So anyways, she had posted about this product called Block, and that was what caught my attention. It's a carb blocker. So for the majority of my 20s, I mean, really starting in high school, but all the way into my early 30s, I ate a ton of sugary things like candy all day. I mean, legit, I had candy in my pocket, in my purse at all times. People that worked with me knew, like, I had a stash of like Sour Patch Kids all the time. Now the thought of those just sounds so gross. But I ate lots of processed foods, lots of Kraft macaroni and cheese, junk food like Doritos and Oreos were on the weekly, if not daily basis. I would eat ice cream twice a day, every single day. No excuses. My freezer is always stocked, and our freezer is kind of still stocked with ice cream, but like we never dig into it. Like it's just sitting there. So it's totally different now. But when I learned about the Block, I was like, oh yeah, I need that. My brain basically said, I can eat more of my Doritos and chips and Oreos and feel less guilty about it. I was like, yes, that's what I need. And that was like sadly my goal. But you know, I had all these health issues that I didn't really think like it was a health issue. I just called it like my normal. Like, this is just me. It's just what I got to deal with. It's just how I feel. I mean, I felt like crap all the time, and I hid it. People wouldn't really know, but like I was feeling in pain and had tons of inflammation, and just my gut was a wreck, but I had no idea really what I was doing to my body. I wasn't thinking about improving my immune system, even though I was sick all of the time. I mean, John can tell you, and he didn't even know me my whole life, obviously, but I mean, my family knows how sick I used to get, how often I used to get sick.
She would be sick, and this is not exaggerating, from October through February. Like,
yeah, at least.
Almost.
It was like I'd have one thing and then I'd get better for a week and then something else. And then I was on an antibiotic again, and then this and that. And it turned into something else. I mean, and I was working, but I would go to work sick half the time. Just miserable and living off over the counter stuff and antibiotics and stuff like that. So anyways, wasn't thinking about improving my immune system, wasn't thinking about lowering my sweets addiction. I just wanted more sweets. Wasn't thinking about getting or, you know, reducing my coffee or caffeine intake. I lived for that. I would never imagine like cutting that down, which that was never a goal. And you don't have to get rid of your coffee. We still drink coffee, but I don't live for it like I used to. Like, I don't drink it all day long. I don't need it. And I just live for naps. I mean, I can remember myself just like sitting on the floor trying to read books with my daughter, and just I could barely keep my eyes open. Like, ridiculous exhaustion that it's so different now. I just don't have that. I wasn't thinking about improving my sleep or my stomach issues I had. I mean, you guys, I was using Miralax all the time just to go to the bathroom. And I had to use Tylenol PM or stuff like that to actually help me fall asleep. And if I didn't, which I didn't do that every night. So the days that I didn't take that, it would take me like 2 hours to fall asleep. So all that stuff was going on. And I didn't know that Plexus could help it. I didn't really know I had any tools like that would help me feel better. And when I first learned about this stuff, I was 1 year postpartum, you know, so my daughter, Ruby, she's 7 now. She was 1 year old at the time I first started hearing about everything. I was still dealing with postpartum depression at the time. Didn't really tell a lot of people about it, but my doctor had tried to give me a prescription for medication. And I said, nope, that's not me. I don't need that. So really, I just dealt with it at home, which left me miserable. And also had postpartum anxiety come on after having my daughter, which was really hard. So I could just remember really vividly being in the rocking chair in my daughter's room, rocking her to sleep and just crying for no reason. And John would ask me like, what's wrong? What's wrong? I had no reason. I had no idea what was wrong with me. I was like, I don't know. I don't know why I'm crying. And I can remember praying to God really hard this one day, just like asking for a change. And I said, I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know what needs to change, but I need something to change. Shortly after, Plexus came into my life. Now, looking back, I feel like that was what this is basically the answer to my prayers. So soon after I started this stuff, my husband and my best friend noticed a difference. I mean, and the only way I could explain it was, it's got to be the plexus. That was the only thing I had changed in my life. I didn't change my diet. I didn't try anything else. I wasn't exercising. It had to be the plexus. I found myself not craving sweets all day anymore. And that was never something I would intend to do. Like if you told me I needed to cut sweets, or that would be a goal, I was like, no, I don't want this stuff then. Because I was like, my brain is like, I need the sugar all day. But my body just stopped craving it. It was great. I started to fall asleep within 5 to 10 minutes without needing Tylenol PM or ZzzQuil. It was amazing. I had much more energy. I wasn't feeling that like heavy fatigue. And then I just started to slowly notice my anxiety going away, and really eventually depression like totally left my life. So that's huge. Another huge one in my books is that I'm just not constantly getting sick all the time like I used to. So now it's rare. And this is just all thanks to my gut health improving. Who knew? And so one more thing to mention is, I've been taking Plexus for 6 years now, but last year, basically 2021, I found myself gaining some weight, basically like post-COVID situation. Like 2021, I gained some weight. I ended up getting up like 15 pounds heavier than I was. And so then the reset came out. We have this thing called 3-day reset. And I won't go into what all that is, but it's amazing. It helps detox your gut, your liver, kidneys, all that. Helps reset your metabolism. And I started doing one of those every 60 days since July through what was our last one, January.
We've done 4. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
And I've lost that 15 pounds. Like, it's amazing. I feel so much more comfortable in my clothes. So I'm going to continue doing those every couple months and just continue my Plexus regimen, which is the triplex at the core, which is the gut health combo. I also love the active energy drinks. I love a good protein shake that we have. And so those are some of my favorites that have helped me a ton. Of course, we use the carb blocker. I did get that carb blocker that I wanted from the beginning, but I'm so glad I started with the triplex, like Amy told me. So I didn't really get to mention, but I'll have John talk about it really with the business. I had no intentions of starting a business with Plexus, but I soon after saw the opportunities. So we jumped right in. I mean, we were actually looking for an additional income stream. We were looking into residual income and what that could do for us, and thinking of we were like always brainstorming all these ideas, like what can we do to make extra money? And I never thought it would be network marketing. But I ended up, like, after starting on the products for a little while, starting to see what other people were doing with this business. And I was like, I think I want some of that. So I went after it. And so I'll let John go ahead and share a little bit about his story as well, which, I'll just let you talk.
Yeah, it's funny. Nicole says she, when she started, she didn't plan on starting a business or making money. And that's the truth. And to the full extent that when she bought her first triplex, she split it with her friend because she was so, skeptical that she thought she'd be returning it and, didn't want to put a lot of money out. So that's where she started.
And then we were like, we really like this stuff.
Yeah.
My best friend and I, we need more. So we ordered again.
So, so that's how I was introduced to the products, through obviously my sister Amy, and then through Nicole. And, from my perspective, and I'm not going to tell my whole story, health testimony, but from my perspective, I've always been interested in supplementation. And, I was like one of the first people I think that I know to try keto. I was at work putting butter in my coffee, and people were looking at me like I was insane. And I probably was at the time. But up until Plexus, I couldn't really find something that I could consistently stick with and would work. So I would try keto for a couple of weeks, and then, it was too hard to maintain that. I'm not really a meal prepping type of person. But then when I heard about, probiotics and gut health, and I've listened to some podcasts on gut health. That's interesting. So when I tried the products, it was more so out of curiosity than anything else. I didn't really have like a health goal or anything in mind. I didn't.
You had an interest in health, but you weren't like, I need to lose weight. I guess I didn't realize how overweight I had become, really, how out of shape I had become, and really how just like, I'd stopped exercising. I'd stopped really doing anything. And I didn't have energy. And I thought, I just thought that was like normal, just like getting old, like not having energy, coming home after work and just laying on the couch.
That's not normal. I mean, that might be, what happens to most people, but that doesn't make it normal for human beings, for that to be our life. So, I mean, to shorten my health testimony, I started on Triplex. The first thing I noticed was I had more energy. I used to be someone that would drink coffee the entire day, to the extent that I would drink a cup before I got in my car to drive home from work. And I would still be falling asleep at the wheel, literally slapping myself in the face to stay awake as I was driving. So the first thing I noticed a couple of weeks in after taking Triplex, I'm not tired. I didn't almost fall asleep driving home today. I actually didn't drink 5 cups of coffee today. Only drank 2, and that just started adding up over time. And slowly I started to realize, well, I'm losing weight. My clothes are fitting a little bit looser. And that's built from there into, giving me the energy that I started going back into the gym. At some point, Plexus came out with lean, and I replaced my lunch at work with a lean shake.
Also save money, not just
also
lost weight with that.
Also save money rather than going out and getting
Like
fast food or
fast food. Yeah.
an $8 sandwich. That's that's not good for the bank account. That's for sure. So that just stacking wins over time, and all in all, I ended up losing 50 pounds, and I got back into running, back into before I thought it was crazy, like for me to be able to run more than 2 miles. I thought that would never happen. But got into running 5 miles, 6 miles at a time, and just really fell in love with exercising again. And with Plexus came out with Active, I mean, that was right up my alley. I started using Active as a pre-workout. It's just been awesome the way I've been able to incorporate these products into a healthy lifestyle, really. And the thing about Plexus, and I'll just talk about the income opportunity again, because I mean, Nicole said we weren't looking for Plexus as an income vehicle, but we were looking for another income vehicle. And over the past years, I've tried my hand, and I still do have several different streams of income that I'm trying to build. And I did some analysis a couple of weeks ago, just like looking at with because I still do work a day job, so I'm working 40 hours a week in a day job, and say I'm working 5 hours a week, putting that towards my Plexus business, 5 hours a week towards my podcast that I have, 5 hours a week towards the drop shipping coffee business that I have. And I didn't know what, when I crunched all these numbers, I didn't know what the output would be, but it was crazy. My per dollar, what I was making per hour, was equal between Plexus and my day job. And I have a pretty awesome day job where I make a very, very nice salary, extremely blessed. And it blew my mind. And my first takeaway was I should be putting a heck of a lot more time into my Plexus business. And I've definitely tried to after looking at that, but I should look at that every day just to reinforce it. I mean, I definitely neglect and take for granted the opportunity that we have with Plexus, with being able to sign up for $9 and getting a welcome pack and access to a referral link where somebody can buy, it's like 25 or 30 products that Plexus has: gut health, weight loss, really on the cutting edge of with the metabolic reset that really is not offered really anywhere else. And Plexus being a debt-free company, I think is huge and something that is extremely important. I think that's pretty rare, especially in the network marketing space, to be able to say that Plexus is a company that carries zero debt. That's kind of crazy. And their products work. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're consistent, you're going to get results. I mean, the people who don't get results are the ones who aren't consistent every single time. So it's just been an awesome experience, and looking forward to continuing it. Who's going next? Who do we?
I'll just take over.
Michelle.
This is good. Hi guys, my name is Michelle Rose, my husband Tyler. So since the women are clearly the starters of this, I'll go ahead and start with my health story. I'm like taking pieces from everyone here. Like Amy and I have almost the exact same story. I have lots of tummy issues. I actually have an autoimmune digestion disorder, and that's what really got me started. But with all of that, when you have like one health issue starts and then they just keep cascading. And that was for me. Although when I look back, Amy was talking about like middle school, I remember tummy issues, but I can't really remember before that. I remember middle school having like horrific allergies and asthma. That's when my cystic acne started. And the tummy issues came later. I also had insomnia issues. And then it just like, I got into college, and I remember there was one year I'm a runner as well. I was competing in college. There was a cross country season and when I was in college where I didn't compete. I still trained with the team, but I told my coach, I'm like, something's wrong. Like I just didn't feel well. Something in my body felt off. I was struggling with my workouts. I just wasn't feeling good. And I was like, I'm taking the season off of competing because I need to figure out what's going on with my body. Like this, I don't know what it is. And I never really figured out what it was at that point in time, but I somehow got better enough to get back into track and that kind of stuff. But I've always just had this underlying feeling of like, there's a reason that I'm chronically tired, that I can never fall asleep, that I'm with Nicole on the sugar addiction. I thought I was one of those, like, I run it off. It's cool. I can eat the bowl of ice cream. It's totally fine. Or the carton of ice cream, or, you know, whatever it was. Not true. I actually remember after we got married, we had leftover cake from our wedding, and I sat down with like a dinner plate of cake and ice cream, and he's like, are you seriously gonna eat that? I'm like, oh yeah, the whole thing. And now I'm like, there's no way. I would have like 2 bites and I would be done.
I would eat it though. So.
Yeah. He still likes it. I can't do that kind of sugar anymore. But I was with Nicole on the praying at night after we had our oldest. I call it my rock bottom. I kind of hit that rock bottom. I was not myself. I could hardly get off of the couch. He probably doesn't remember this, but one day he walked in from work and it was like 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I was sitting on the couch with our baby, and he goes, is that all you've done today? And I was just like, yep. Sure is. And I just felt so worthless in that moment because I didn't want that to be my day, but I also didn't have the capacity for it to be anything else. I like had anxiety thinking about leaving our house. I was so tired that staring at the TV and nursing my child all day was all I could handle. And he knows my heating pad was plugged in on the couch right there where I would sit with it all day on my stomach because I was in so much pain. I was always bloated, always cramping. I was just miserable. And so I started learning about gut health. I heard about Plexus. It was all of this like answer to my prayers. I truly feel that. Once I heard about gut health, I was like, this is literally that feeling that there's a reason. This is it. There's a reason why I'm struggling so much. And it just a couple months after I really started diving into gut health, I heard about Plexus. And it was just like another God moment. Like God is telling me I need to do this. So I had the same thing, super, like we were all skeptical, you guys. I was like, I don't know, like I can go buy some probiotics at the store, but I had been doing that and they weren't doing anything. So I was the same thing with the ProBio 5. I was like, all right, give it to me. What else do I have to lose at this point in time? And after a few weeks, for the first time, I started noticing a difference. I started not feeling as sick, not as bloated, not as crampy. And that was huge for me. And it was definitely a slow change over the years. I've also been with the company for 7 years. But where I am now with my health is a complete 180 of where I was when I was sitting on the couch when he walks in the door. Is that all you've done? Like, that's not me. If I'm sitting on the couch, I'm usually like really not feeling good, or it's like 9 o'clock at night and I'm like, I'm ready to check out. I've been momming all day. So that like the health has been the biggest, like so big for me. I'm not kidding you guys. I can't tell you how many tears I shed because I was so scared that I wasn't going to be around to watch my kids grow up, because I was like, am I even going to make it to 40? I don't even know. And I don't feel like that anymore. I also am kind of like the the business whore. Like I love being an entrepreneur. And so I kind of still am a personal trainer. I'm not practicing anymore, but I was a personal trainer and I started a couple other businesses. And so when it came to the income side of it, I was like, I'm same with Amy, like, how can I better support my clients? What else can I give them? Great. Now I have something else to give them. I can also make more money off of them. Perfect. Built-in customers. So that's kind of where I started. And then I just like slowly started sharing. And it took us from, especially the last few years of like really struggling to make it from paycheck to paycheck to now being debt free. And I have to say, I was not as sweet as Amy and giving him a new car. I took the Lexus. But I also have to say, we had one car for a year before I got the Lexus. So when it came time for me to get the Lexus, I jumped. So I do have one parked in my driveway. But it is just, the financial side has given us the freedom to make so many decisions and a life that we never really thought that we could have, and also giving it to our kids. We both work from home, but we homeschool our kids as well. And when the whole world changed a few years ago, being able to say, we're keeping our kids at home, we're going to protect our babies and not have to worry about how we were going to make that happen, meant so much to us. We didn't have to like, oh, who's going to stay home? Or, how are we going to do daycare? How are we going to do that? It was just like, our kids are home now. We're home. Our kids are home. And it's just been such a blessing for our whole family in products, business, all of it.
So I kind of like to steal some of the credit for Michelle getting involved with Plexus a little bit, because she probably doesn't remember this either, but I was actually a part of a MLM company right before she got involved with Plexus. I was a coach for a number of years. For 11 years, I coached basketball, baseball, always looking for, some sort of energy pick me up. And got involved with, I don't know if we can talk about it, but
Yeah, sure.
Oh yeah. So a company called Advocare, and Advocare had energy supplements that I had friends that were involved with for about 2 years before really that Michelle got so pulled into the Plexus stuff. But I kind of like to say that she denied the Advocare stuff so hard that I think it started her track and getting all of the things with Plexus. So,
it wasn't good enough for me.
no,
Right?
so that's where all the gut health stuff started to accumulate. Is I'd like to take credit for all of that and all of her success. So no, I can't. But between the two of us, I mean, our lifestyles, I mean, we're all over the place, and we've been all over the place. We're both workaholics. We both, love to do so many different things as well as together. And when we had started having kids, like our schedules did have to change over the last 6 or 7 years. Or, I try to, even though I work from home, I try to get all of my work done in odd hours. And she tries to do her job and her work and everything in odd hours. And we've gotten now to a point where everything that Michelle has put into this and myself, giving as much to her as possible has allowed us to, allow me to take time away from my regular job and to really pursue something else that both of us are going to be comfortable with moving forward. And hopefully our work schedules are not going to be so sporadic. I used to work till 3 o'clock in the morning and get up at 6 and then turn around, the next day and, try to fall asleep at 11, get up at 2 just to get work done. I mean, the schedules are just so sporadic that the supplements that Michelle would keep feeding me handful after handful really kept me going for 7 years. And half the time I don't even know what it was in them.
We have this running joke. He's like, "Oh, is this the one that's going to kill me?" He's like, "What drug are you giving me this time?" I'm like,
and a lot of the times it was just a handful, so I just pop them in and call it good. But the supplements really, when you're in pain and taking the ease, when you're going through your stomach issues, I don't pay as much attention to my health issues as much as actually she does pay attention to my health issues. She knows when I need to have nerve. She knows when I need to have the ease, and it's basically sitting there on the table with a cup of water waiting for me whenever something is going on. But I mean, for the most part, the lifestyle that we have chosen for our family, you know, and being able to be a part of our children's lives a little bit more than most can say. You know, that's what really this has impacted for the both of us. You know, obviously Michelle with her gut health, you know, issues that she's gone through in her life. I've never really experienced anything like that before. But the benefits of what we're seeing from everything that we're putting into it, I mean, it's been extraordinary. And so the supplements are great, the products are unbelievable. I mean, everything that the company has to offer, the financial plan, I mean, it's just a knockout of the park when it comes to putting it all together for us. So anything else?
He is walking away from his career in 2 weeks to take a month off to go do something different because I've built what I have. This has given
Beef
us
built.
he is my number one supporter, and that's kind of why we wanted to put this couples thing together. Is I want to touch on that super quick. Is Nicole, how long have you been on the products? How long have you guys been on the products?
6 years.
Okay, so 7 years, 6 years. Mandy and David are a little bit newer, but when you're looking at the longevity here, you need support. And who is going to be a better person to support you? Like, if you're going into this, you're looking around. When you go into this, you need to think that how is this going to change my life? Not how is this going to change me for the next 2 months? Like, this is a lifelong thing, especially for us. Like, your health is an investment that you need to think of for your entire life. If you don't invest in your health, you need to start thinking about investing in your illness. That's kind of where it is. And so, like, for us, he is my number one supporter. Like, when it comes to this business, yeah, I'm the face of it and I do a lot of the work, but he does everything he can to support me so I can do that. Like, he gets up in the butt crack of dawn to work so he can take care of our kids in the middle of the day so I can get some stuff done. So when it comes to like having options with your life, like, this gives you so many options with the health freedom and with the financial freedom. And that is what is so, so big and life-changing to us. So, okay, I'm going to turn over to David and Mandy.
All right. Hi. So we've been with Plexus since last May, I believe, April, May. So originally we started a health journey I started 4 years ago, about 2 years ago.
Yeah. So it's been 3-4 years.
Yeah. We just needed a change. We were sluggish, having trouble sleeping, migraines, back issues. David is a bit older than me, so he has a lot of injuries. He had a stroke 2 years ago due to high blood pressure, and we just knew something has to change. We've always been into supplements. We've never been into like healthcare and taking prescriptions, none of that. We've always been herbal people. So I started looking to add actually the business. This is what truly drove me to Plexus. I was more interested in the business, but the supplements I had to get behind. I had to believe in it. I knew about health. I knew about gut health. I was pretty well versed and educated in a lot of health. I grew up with it. So I needed something that truly I could stand wholeheartedly behind, but the business had to make sense. We are both entrepreneurs. I grew up, my parents were entrepreneurs. He owns his own business. So we knew the business aspect inside and out pretty quickly. So we started our journey. I actually got him on it first. David, I don't know if you want to tell.
Well, so I had a gym injury in April and broke my collarbone and tore up my shoulder. And I was in so much pain that I was kind of getting desperate. So reached out to Michelle and said, what can we do to try to help get some of these things under control? I mean, I have a lot of injuries just from my youth and all the activities I used to do, and they're finally catching up. So I have a lot of joint issues and a lot of pain in general. So that was where we started with it. For me, it was the health side of it. I needed to do what I could to help my body at this point, just because I was in so much pain all the time.
Yeah, through that, through his collarbone healing, he actually stayed on no pain meds. I don't even think he took like Motrin.
I didn't take anything.
Didn't take anything. He was still able to work full time.
It hurt. I mean, I worked through the pain, but it
wasn't so like, I mean, he broke his collarbone. So it's like, but also his blood pressure issues, he's had high blood pressure his entire life.
Mhm.
That finally started coming down. He's actually able to cut his medication in half, if not entirely.
Actually, I'm at a quarter of what I was when we started Plexus. So I'm not off it entirely, but I'm only taking about 25% of what I was just prior to Plexus.
Yes. So it's like knowing that it's like we need to start investing in our health. With the health scare of his stroke was pretty detrimental. That's also helped him with that, recovering from his nerve damage and just pain from that he's still experiencing. So his story is absolutely incredible. And I'm like, we have to start helping you. Like this has to happen now. For me, I was like, I started on Active first. He got all the products and I was like, hey, let me try some of this Active. And Active is still my favorite product because the first one I started on. I've been working out in the gym. It's an amazing pre-workout and I absolutely love it. I cannot live without Active now. But I was thinking to myself, I don't really need a lot of these products. Like, my God, I didn't really have that many issues. At least I thought.
Mhm.
I still had massive sugar cravings. My sugar cravings, I still to this day, they've gotten a lot better, but I know it's going to take some time. I was still having sleep issues. I was taking actually sleeping pills, like a quarter of a sleeping pill at night, like probably 4 or 5 nights a week, going, oh, that's normal. Like my mom takes a couple, everybody does it, right? So, and I was still having, I was irregular, which I knew from working out. I was taking a lot of protein and everything. They're like, oh yeah, when you take a lot of protein, yeah, you get backed up and, you poo like a bunny, I guess. So I'm like, that's normal. It's not normal. So I was still struggling with it. So I was like, okay, I'll just try some triplex, see what it does. And after like a month, I was like, this isn't like, I was falling asleep in 5 minutes, which I'd never done. My mood changed a lot. My energy increased a lot just naturally throughout the day. My sugar cravings were getting better. I wasn't missing it anymore. And I was just like, I was worse off kind of than I thought. And that's truly what I promote is like people that, say, I don't need supplements. Like I'm pretty healthy. It's like, I bet you do. Because there's still that little bit you can go. I was about 70% of the way and Plexus truly took me to that 100%. Now the business side of it, we're still working it. The business is incredible. It's just incredible. I plan on going as far as I can with it. And I love this truly feels like what I meant to do. I mean, the business makes complete sense. It's an absolute investment in yourself. It's helping people. The community is beyond amazing. The support is beyond amazing.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually really more helped me with the business. He's helped me understand it a lot. So it's like we work together a lot with that. He's like Michelle was saying, he's like the back part of what I do. Like questions about the business, he'll help me with customers, he'll help me with like payment, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the support of giving me that space and freedom to do what I need to do with the company.
Yeah, I'm not big on social media, so I'm much more comfortable working the backside of everything and helping out in any way I can.
Yeah. So that's our story.
That's awesome. Mike helps me with my business too. I always say he's the reason I hit Emerald. He got into my back office and he saw the numbers. Like I always say, I'm not a numbers person. I don't really know what's going on back there.
It was consensual.
Yeah. He got into the back office. He's like, oh my gosh, Amy, you could be Emerald this month. And I was like, no, you kidding me? And he was like, yeah, you can. You totally can do it. Here's what you need to do. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to do that? Okay, I'll do that. And every day he'd come home from work and be like, did you do what you need to do today? Then the next day, did you do what you needed to do today? And just check. So thank you.
And now I have a Bronco.
That's how easy it is. But yeah, thank goodness he knows the numbers and helps me so much. I mean, even today I texted him at noon, hey, can you send me my numbers for the month? Because I don't do that, and he does. So very, very helpful. It's so fun to do this business as a couple. I think probably all 8 of us can agree on that. It makes it a lot easier to work together. Everything's better when you work this business as a couple. So, just my opinion. But I wanted to open this up for questions. If anyone had any questions, no worries if you don't. No pressure to ask a question, but if you do, type it in the chat, ask it out loud. If you want to unmute, we are happy to answer questions.
Guys, talk for a quick minute about some of the products that they use.
The guys, okay, the guys can talk for a few minutes.
I mean, I regularly take the probiotic, the Ease, the Nerve on a given regular basis. What else is in the concoction?
Well, you love the drinks. He
Yeah.
loves flavored beverages.
Yeah, flavored drinks are everything that I need. I can't just drink straight water. So, you know, in the morning I wake up, I'll drink an active or a hydrate. I'll follow it up, you know, a half hour later with the other one, you know, depending on which one I take first. And then throughout the day, I'll drink a slim, I'll drink another active. So flavored drinks are things that I absolutely am drawn to. So it just helps me out throughout the day, I think. And I don't really pay attention to how it keeps me going, but I know that I no longer take naps. So
He used to be like a daily 2+ hour napper. I'm not even kidding you guys. Daily 2+, sometimes 3. I'm like, and you don't wake this man up. Just if anyone ever hangs out with him and he falls asleep, don't wake him up. He's not pretty.
true.
So I'm pretty much on the entire Plexus line.
And I always go like, I don't know what he's not on.
Yeah, I pretty much take just about everything now. Ease, Nerve, the Triplex, Collagen, Lean,
Hydrate.
Metaburn, Hydrate.
Pink,
Yeah, I mean,
active.
and I have a daily regimen, and yeah, I mean, it definitely. I mean, I'm afraid to get off, you know, to not take my stuff, just because I noticed such a difference. So I did have a huge Red Bull problem for probably 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
It was a daily thing, and I got off of it completely
Within a month.
Yeah,
It was like a month.
6 months ago.
Yeah.
Where I can't even drink the stuff now. I mean, it's so sweet, so awful. But yeah, it was replaced with Active, and that for me, you know, is a game changer. Especially in the mornings to try to get going. I mean, I have my Active every morning on the way to work. And that gets me through the whole day, basically.
Yeah, I'll say he's never skipped a day. Like every day he takes all of his stuff every day. And he knows now that because he ran out a couple times just because of orders and stuff coming in. He went out without Ease for he takes 6 Ease a day because of all of his injuries and inflammation. He went without it for 2 days. Within a day and a half, he started experiencing pain because he's got tendonitis, he has injuries, all kinds of stuff. So now he's like, I can't go without it.
Yeah. So my Plexus order every month, it comes in a box, not just the shipping bag. I mean, wow.
Yeah, it comes in a box now. But it helps him he's been better at work and everything. So
Yeah, for me, and I can definitely relate to the energy drink problem. I used to have a Monster and a Rockstar problem. So it's definitely an addiction. But yeah, so I start every day with Hydrate. Ever since the 3-day reset started, and with the reset, you drink a Hydrate first. I felt so great that I just kept doing it. So I drink Hydrate first thing every morning. We both do, and then at night before bed, I always have my ProBio and my BioCleanse. I'll always drink a Slim at some point during the day. Always have an Active at some point during the day. Sometimes I combine them, and that's awesome. But and also Mega X and X Factor too.
So the multivitamin and also Immune Plus.
Yeah. So I do take
Almost everything.
most of them. Yeah.
So I'm not quite as heavy a user as these guys. I'll take ProBio when Amy sets it out for me, and lean after a workout, and active if I'm, feeling sluggish. But our kids, our older kids, are athletes. Our daughter's a swimmer. She'll swim in college in a couple of years, and our son's a freshman in high school. And he's a runner, and they take active like before their competition, and it's helpful for them. But I'm not a coffee drinker, so I sometimes I struggle with being able to stay awake or wake up if I have to get up early. So active's a good product for me also.
All right. So